I'm going to go over the different parts of the tripod and how we will then use it to set up our AutoLevel. So once you get it opened up, there's 3 legs, hence the name tripod, and there are what are called these screws right here. Allow us to move the inner part of this leg along the length of it, so we can raise and lower the tripod. And those screws are on all 3 sides, where we can just raise it and lower it to where we want. On the top here is another screw, and this is where we are going to be attaching our AutoLevel to the tripod. So I am a tall person, so I like to have my tripod as tall as possible so that it's comfortable for me to look through. But on a bridge site, that's not always the case. Oftentimes, you're going to have to set up your tripod in unideal locations, and recognizing the height at which the tripod needs to be set at in order to get good survey data is something to consider, and that will come with experience. So now we have our AutoLevel that we got out of our carrying case, and this is the point at which we can now attach it to our tripod, and I'll go over some of the other features that are pertinent to leveling in a moment. So to do this, you just place it on top. I like to lift it up a little bit, and then find the thread, and then get it seated, and then get it attached. And you can just see probably, I don't know if you can in that video, but you should be able to see that it's really not level right now. And we can see that on the top here, there's actually a bubble in which you can see if it's level or not. So if I rotated this around, I could try to, land the bubble in the middle. Oh, almost had it, like right there. All right, now it's pretty much in the middle. That's the quick way of doing this, is you have 2 people, one person holds the top of the tripod and gets it level like this, and then the other person tightens those screws. And then we leave it and it'd be good. Since we don't have another set of hands, we're not going to do that right now, but that's how you can quickly level an AutoLevel without having to play with the leveling screws. Now that we got it roughly leveled with our eye for this flat plate, we've got our the legs firmly planted in here, so we push down on all 3 legs with our feet to make sure the level is secure. Try the tripod secure and just not moving. Now it's time to start using the leveling screws. So there are 3 leveling screws on this, and we will spin them in order to level this, and we'll know that it's level when that bubble is in the middle of the circle. I'm going to twist one leveling screw here, and you see as I move it, it's raising and lowering the tripod, or the AutoLevel. So if you get down here, you can see as I spin this, it's raising and lowering it. And all 3 of these do the same thing. So I'm going to now play with it in order to get the bubble in the middle, and then we'll know that our AutoLevel is parallel and level to the ground.
Go for it.
So one thing to note is that when you spin your AutoLevel around, the bubble should always remain level. That is one way to check to see if your AutoLevel is of good enough quality or not, or if it's been damaged. This is just one check that I like to do, is spin it all the way around, check it at certain points, just to ensure that it's level, so that way when I'm spinning it during my survey, I have confidence that it's going to stay level. And one last thing, a lot of AutoLevels have this little feature here. It's a mirror, so if you look from this side into it, you'll be able to see that you're level while you're looking through the telescope. So the last couple things that we want to go over for this AutoLevel is at the bottom here, we can see that there's a bearing, or basically a compass ring that has 360 degrees on it. And this is something that you can use to set, and then you can remember your location as you then rotate the level left and right, or pan it to the left and right. So typically, once you set up your location and you know the point that you're setting, you want to be set on, you want to set it to 0. So that way you always know that you are you know that you're shooting in a straight line and not deviating to the left or right. One last thing is at the top here, you see how there are 3 sights right here. So as you're looking through the level here, and you don't necessarily know what you're looking at because it's out of focus, you can use these sights up top to angle what you're trying to actually sight and look at fairly effectively.
Here we have a leveling rod. In country, you'd most likely or definitely be using a metric leveling rod, but what we have here in the US is in English units, so these big red numbers stand for feet. And then in between, the white space and the black space stands for 0.01 of a foot. So if this is our 2 feet, we'd be at 2.01, 2.02, 2.03, 2.04, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then these smaller black numbers would be 2.1 feet.
One thing to note as well is that we didn't know how to read this leveling rod when we got it. Oftentimes, every single leveling rod is different, and so you're going to have to figure it out oftentimes on the fly when you might be in country, just due to the differing nature. But that's if you understand the underlying theory behind the difference between the white spaces and the black spaces, you will be able to pick it up just very easily.